Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the mobile food truck industry, the advantages and disadvantages. What is a food truck, you might be wondering? Well, let me tell you. A food truck, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is a large wheeled vehicle from which food is sold that typically contains cooking facilities where the food is prepared. You have probably seen these around your local downtowns, each one with its unique style and with the fact that you can just approach it because it's parked. The focus of today's presentations will be on the demography of North Park, which is the place where our current restaurant is located. Then we will talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the food truck industry. And then we will just conclude with a little analysis. So first, let's talk about the population and ages. The population of North Park is around 37,188. The average age ranges from 25 to 29 years. Why is this important? Well, it is important to see what age group will be targeted with this food truck and how can people be served. Then we're going to focus on the income and education. According to Data USA, households in North Park have a median annual income of $62,285, which is much more than the median annual income of $60,336 across the entire United States. Figure 1.2 shows that most people have some college diploma, and then the second highest percentage shows that people have a bachelor's degree. Why is this important? Well, it is important to see how the addition of a food truck will go along with the economy of the residents in this area. This information is useful to picture what type of people already come to our restaurant and the possible customers that will be attracted to our food truck. Now let's talk about the culture of North Park. North Park is a neighborhood full of life and young people. Ava James, a writer for Movoto, says that North Park offers something for almost everyone and is increasingly becoming one of the iconic San Diego neighborhoods. People in North Park either walk or bike to places, which means that they have a high value for things that are accessible. It is also described as a place that offers the right aesthetic with a taste of fun. North Park is one of San Diego's oldest neighborhoods, but since it has been revitalized, it is full of life and it feels like things are always going in full speed. This is said by Kamen from the New York Times. Let's talk about the advantages. The first one being the low initial investment. To get started on the venture of a food truck, all you need to do is buy a truck. You can either rent it or actually buy one. Then you would focus on the kitchen appliances, but this can vary depending on what kind of food you're going to be selling. Because you have such a low initial investment, the remainder of the money that you have can be used towards marketing and advertising. Being able to showcase your restaurant will get people to come to it. And the fact that you can use that extra money in your food truck and in your restaurant is just an amazing way. Then we have low operation cost. The Restaurant Times says that the operational costs of a food truck are month to month and are limited to food, supplies, and gas. You don't need to have a full staff, just a small team will do, and most of your taxes will be much lower. The fact that you do not need as much staff as a restaurant that needs a hostess, a waitress, and of course kitchen staff means that your salaries expense is lower. You also do not need to pay rent, which in San Diego can be very expensive, also allows you to save a lot of money. Then we have an advantage that is the fact that food trucks are so popular. A survey by Ask Your Target Market stated that 50% of the people say that food trucks are very popular. So that means that a lot of people are interested in food trucks. Then let's focus on the disadvantages. Well, one obvious disadvantage is the fact that food trucks have limited space. This means that you have a small space to work in, and it can be difficult when you are trying to serve people quality food that does not require a lot of time to make. Some people can find this uncomfortable, and then others can adapt and work well in a confined space. Another challenge when talking about food trucks is the fact of staying relevant and popular. There's a lot of competitions when it comes to food trucks. As stated by Food on a Truck, the mobile food industry is also very competitive as more businesses take the plunge. Nowadays, with social media, people get bored easily and want to try new things as often as they can. So being able to keep customers attracted to your business is hard. Then we have a problem that other food trucks are also in competition, and that means that they compete with your prices. There are food trucks that will charge around the same price as you. So for you to stay relevant, you either want to charge a lower price, but at the same time, you don't want to charge a price that is so low that you're not making profit, or raise your prices so much where people don't come. So the challenge is finding a happy medium. Then we have the challenge of abiding to local zoning laws. There's a lot of laws that are put in place to regulate where you can park. So this means that you cannot park wherever you want. Some of the challenges that come with having an assigned parked area is that you need to compete for that area. Since other food trucks also have the same limitations, it becomes a first person who gets there can park. Even though you can get permits in advance to park in more areas, you always run the risk of those permits taking a long time and returning to the problem of not having an area to compete and to do your business. So it is important to be able to find those areas that are popular and will have a lot of customers. Then we're going to talk about permits. This is just a really basic overview of the permits that are in the San Diego government website. We have approvals required. This just talks about having a health permit, and what places you can operate, and depending on the place where you operate, what things you need. Then we talk about locations, and then it focuses on where you can park. Then it talks about having submittal requirements, which is like maps. Then we have signage, which is the fact that there cannot be a signage exhibited on or inside the food truck. Then we have electrical connection, which is where your electricity will be coming from. We also have operations that must be self-contained. This means that no furniture, umbrellas, generators, objects, or structures may be placed outside the mobile food truck. 7th is alcoholic beverage, which basically just states that you are not allowed to serve alcoholic beverages in a food truck. And then we have the permit fees. And in this section, it just gives you a detail of the cost of each permit fee. Now that we have gone through all this, we can have a little conclusion. Looking at the demographics and culture of North Park area was really successful in deciding that it is in the best interest for the company to move forward with a mobile food truck. The North Park area is a place that is becoming full of life, and people want things that are new and accessible. So the best move is to cater to the needs of its customers. As we saw, people really value walking and riding their bike and just having a place where it's immediate, so they don't need to stay in traffic. A food truck allows for that to happen by bringing their favorite vegan food to popular areas that are easy to walk and bike to. It is also less expensive to open a food truck than to open a whole new restaurant. The amount of time and money that comes with the permits of a food truck are significantly less than those of a new restaurant. So therefore, it is a great move to go with a food truck. Thank you for your time.